Boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this evening. We have a magnificent guest with us tonight, one who is going to give us some amazing information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than our Sister Shakira Shabazz. Assalamu alaikum, ma'am.
Walaikum salam, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. This means a lot to myself, my family, and the viewing audience of the People's Podcast. We're grateful that you took time out of your busy schedule to have a conversation with us. The first question, before we get started, let's talk about how you and I just met at Sister Sandra's 60th
Oh,
birthday anniversary. Yes,
hmm
ma'am.
yeah.
It was a great time. How did you enjoy yourself?
I had a lot of fun. My daughter, everybody else was all dressed up in white. Everybody was beautiful. That was also my birthday too. I just turned 27 that day. So, it was kind of like I felt like it was a little mini celebration for myself. But yeah, it was beautiful. I enjoyed, what everybody had to say, gratitude towards Sister Sandra. And, yeah, it was a good time.
Okay, wonderful. Yes, ma'am. And thank you everyone who's watching. Uh, Walaikum salam. His name sends a greeting to you. Thank you all, everyone who's watching.
Walaikum
Yes,
salam.
ma'am. Okay. Now, Sister Sandra, Sister Shakir, when did you first hear the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad?
Um, I was born in a nation. So I guess I don't remember the very first time, but I always grew up listening, to lectures of the minister. There were a couple times where my dad he would sit us down, he would have us talk about it or write a book report, on the lectures that we were given as part of our homeschool lessons. But there wasn't really a specific time that I remember like first hearing the teachings. It was just always there. So,
Yes, ma'am. And as a fellow nation baby, I enjoy, we have plenty of positive memories about growing up, in the nation. What's one of your favorite memories?
um, I'm trying to think. There was a time when I was part of Divine Hands, or we had a very
Okay.
small smidget of a second, at our mosque, and I cannot remember what song we did, but you know, it was very fun, and we dressed up in all of our white, and that was kind of my first time doing anything as far as like sign language, because it's like praise dance, so it's a little bit of
Yes, ma'am.
sign language and dancing in there, and so that was probably like one of the highlights. I've met the minister a couple times, and he's just beautiful. Mother Khadija, she's amazing. Um, I met Mother Tanetta once, very brief, but yeah, at least I can say, I'm one of the people that actually met her. So yeah, just being in the mosque in general, experiencing, the family love, everybody's family, everybody loves each other. So yeah.
All praise to Allah. Okay, we can't skip over that. So let us know what it was
Oh,
like one of your times meeting the minister.
so the first time I met the minister, he had like a barbecue at his palace here. And like the whole mosque, even some of the community, came out, and I got to meet him, and that was my first time meeting Minister Ishmael, Brother Mustafa. And so it was just interesting seeing them up close. I remember thinking when I first met Minister Ishmael, I was like, oh, he looked a lot taller. I was great. But it was just he's funny. He's very funny. Him and Brother Mustafa are hilarious. Um, Mother Khadija, she was just so sweet. She's just so sweet. And I kind of wish that my daughter, would be able to meet the minister. I don't know if that's gonna be able to happen at some point. But I was like a teenager at that time, so it's obviously way before I had her. But that was the first time that met him. The second time was at the mosque. He came out. I forgot what year that was, but I was able to briefly, shake his hand and give him the greetings as he was rushing out the door. And so, every little second counts when it comes to, seeing the minister. So,
Yes, ma'am.
mhm.
Beautiful, beautiful. And people are sending you love and positive energy. Thank you, everyone who was watching. Hey, all right, from Flint, Michigan. Thank you for always showing love. I don't know what your name is. You just always put Flint, Michigan, but thank you for always showing love. And please let us know what city the rest of you all are watching from. Okay, let's speak about sign language. So
Mhm.
at the birthday, I saw you doing a lot of this. I didn't know if you were doing gang signs or not. Can you let us know what you were saying and let us know why you chose to go in the field of breaking down the sign language?
So I was homeschooled, my siblings and I. And my mom, I remember her introducing us to this show called Signing Time. A lot of parents might know, but you can still watch them on YouTube. My daughter watches it now. And that was my first introduction to, sign language. And from then on, we've been to deaf churches, which was interesting, deaf festivals and all that.
Mm,
It's like pretty cool. Met a lot of deaf people, and that community is very like, open and understanding, especially if they see that you're trying to learn sign language, they love it. And so I would say the boys in my family didn't really pick it up as much as my sisters and I did. And so, whenever we go out, my sisters and I, and my mom, we're always signing to each other, or you probably saw me, I'll probably sign it to my daughter at the
mm.
party because she's kind of catching on. She's understanding what I'm saying a little bit, better. But when it came to teaching her, I've taught her, from straight from birth. Like I was always signing to her. Her first word, I guess, was milk. And so like, and that was before she can speak, and it made things a lot easier for me to understand what she wanted and things like that without the tantrums. And so, I just really love sign language. I love, seeing deaf people out in the community just at random, and love seeing the surprise on their face when I say, "Oh wow, you know sign language." And I'm like, "Yeah, I do. I can talk to you. You don't have to write it down on the paper or text it out to me. We can just talk." And so, yeah.
Hey, well, phenomenal. And some people are showing you love. We're gonna stay right there. Thank you, Naima, for the first super chat of all time. This is great. Thank you, Naima, for showing. Like, I'm still trying to show how to appreciate it, Naima, but I appreciate it. I'm putting the hearts and the likes. There's a lot going on my phone, but I appreciate it. Okay, great. Let's stay right there. A deaf church. Can you let us know about that?
I think it was somewhere out in Tempe that we went. Um, you had to be very quiet, like to the point where you can hear a pin drop, like as the sermon was going on. And oh, brother, can you hear me? Oh Lord.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Sorry, you froze there for a second. um, I don't know how they knew that we were, because I was like 15 the first time we went to a deaf church. And so I think they probably had, hearing people in the church as well. And they had an interpreter up there for the pastor, but the pastor was also signing too. And so the church that we went to was pretty huge. Um it was just interesting. And like I remember thinking, because I know how deaf people are, and they can be pretty loud, you know, regardless of popular belief, they can actually be pretty loud. They like to talk, and like, they make their noises when they're talking, when they're signing to each other. And so it was just interesting. I'm like, if you guys are deaf, why does it have to be, just my 15-year-old mind, like, why does it have to be quiet? Like, what does it matter to you if you can't, you already can't hear? But it was interesting. We weren't going for the religious part. She just wanted us to have the experience of, being around so many, deaf people in that community. And so, we had our meals, and I got to see how people reacted to each other, and they talk a lot. That's all I remember. I was like, wow, they talk a lot, just because some of them don't speak verbally, even though some of them can. Um, they sign into each other while they're eating, and it's just like one big happy family with them. And so that was real interesting.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am. Now, when you say there, it's loud because of
Because they talk, they make noises when they're signing to each other, and so they can be pretty loud. Yeah.
okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, like all right, all right. So
Yeah,
okay.
pretty
So
loud. Yeah.
when you sign, do you make noise?
I don't think so. I think it's about my face. It's a lot of facial expressions when it comes to, sign language. And so I try not to, as a hearing person, I try not to talk because I guess they, think it's rude. So I try not to. If I do, I don't notice, but, I try not to.
Okay. Well, yes, ma'am. Well, let's. I want to make a first for the People's Podcast, and thank you everyone who was watching and showing love all around the world. Can you let us know? I mean, can you be the first person so we can chop this up to sign? Uh, and we are live. Or thank you for watching the People's Podcast. Could you sign something like that so that I can have that on the record
Yeah, hold on.
for us?
Oh, Lord. Okay. I can't really see myself in this camera right here. Okay. We are live. Thank you for watching the People's Podcast, I guess. I'm not really sure how to sign podcast, but video.
Okay. no, that's
podcast.
cut that. We got to do it one more time let's do it one more
Oh,
time. Because I need you to say it so we can try it. If you say I don't know how to sign the people like you got to sign what you can sign so that we can have it. You know what I'm saying? So like, because I'm gonna use it. Like I'm gonna use it. So
are
from
we
the
live
best of
right
your
now?
ability,
Are we
yeah.
live
But
right
I'm
now?
saying,
Oh,
yeah, we're live. But I want you to say it again. Just do it one more
oh,
time.
Lord,
Okay.
brother, see, you got me stuttering in sign language. I don't know how to. Lord, okay,
Okay. So don't say
okay.
we are live. No, say thank you for
We are
watching the
live.
show. Can you say and
Thank
we are
you for
live?
what?
Thank you for watching the show. Just say thank you for watching the show. Boom.
Okay, we are live. Thank you for watching the show.
Excellent.
Oh Lord.
That was good. That was good. That's all I needed the clip to
Yes, sir.
chop up.
Thank you. I'm praising this cool line.
Okay, wonderful. Move. Assalamu alaikum family. Walaikum salam. Thank you, Move, for showing love. And shout out to Maz for doing a great job winning his karate tournament today. Yes, ma'am. So we just had our first sister sign language. Okay, what is the title? What's your title?
My title?
Yes, like as an interpreter. What do I say? First
Oh,
time we
interpreter.
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 Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You. Um.
Oh, okay. Look at you with the finger spelling. Okay, yes, sir. So you know a little
Yeah.
something, something. You know a little something. Okay. You throwing them up like a little gang signs a little bit, but you know, you got it. You got it. Good job. You
Don't
got it.
sleep on my alphabet. You know what
Yes,
I'm
sir.
saying?
My bad. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Okay, great. Yes, ma'am. The next question we have for you is when I was in Phoenix at Sister Sandra's birthday party, everybody kept saying, Sister Shakira is a world traveler. She's been to the motherland. Can you tell
Mm.
us about that?
Yeah, I was the first person in my family to get a passport. I was 19 at the time, and I almost didn't go. I had to kind of beg somebody to let me go with them. Um, but that was my first time on a plane, and it was like a 20-some hour long flight. And, we stayed, me and a group of, ladies and a couple of our mentors, we were part of like a young women's group at that time. And so we stayed for about like 2 weeks and like maybe 5 days. And, the music was just completely different. The people, at the time, I have a gap. And so at the time I was kind of very like insecure about it. And, when I went there, like they were, oh, you have a gap, you're such a queen, blah, blah, blah. Like I've never received any kind of praise when it comes to that. And I was like, oh, like thank you. Thank you. Like I thank you so much. And so I think it definitely changed my perspective on how big the world is.
Mm.
Like I definitely would love to go back. I'm actually working on getting my daughter her passport right now. Um, but the food was amazing. Contrary to popular belief, the city was beautiful. The construction, how tall the towers, not the towers, the buildings were. Um, we went to the small village, and that's the part that they like to show on TV. But even them, even then, they weren't depressed or they weren't like starving. They were very happy and healthy, and it was just one big community. And I just loved it. I loved the whole thing.
All praises. So like, go ahead, check you out going to Africa. Now let's think right there. Um, some of the people who viewed the People's Podcast over the years have said they have some fear about going to Africa because of the flies, the smell. Did you experience any of that, like bugs attacking you while you were over there?
Um, no, well, the only concern that my mom had was, malaria, with the mosquitoes. And so, like, I'd say probably like 2 weeks prior to me going, like, she had me eating like garlic cloves just raw, like every day in the morning and at night. And she also
Hmm.
had me drinking apple cider vinegar, and I didn't get stung not one time. The whole time I was there, I didn't get stung at all. And so, I think malaria was definitely going around that time we were there. But I don't think, and me and the rest of the girls, we were all kind of on that same, eating a garlic routine before we all went there. And so I don't think any of us got stung. And if they did, it was probably only once because nobody complained about any bites or anything like that. But I didn't see any flies, or it smelled fresh. The weather
Okay.
was so like it was very nice and cool. I love cloudy days, and it was a lot of the times it was cloudy. And so, I love that, going to the beach and everything. It was fine. I didn't experience anything that would kind of gross me out like that.
Excellent. Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
And can you let us know the science behind is the apple cider vinegar and the you said garlic?
Garlic.
Is it
Hmm
because if you have bad breath, they won't sting you? Like let us know. Let us know. Let us know about that.
I think the smell of the garlic kind of like comes through your pores, I guess.
That's what I thought. Okay,
So like,
okay.
it's kind of like a repellent, not just, from my breath, because, they're not like biting me inside my mouth. It's all over. And so I guess like I kind of had that internal garlicky smell that, just kind of repelled them from me. And,
Okay.
you know, I'm not really sure about the apple cider vinegar. I know it has, a lot of attributes, but she had me drinking it. So,
Shout out to your
hmm
mama.
hmm
And thank you for
hmm
letting us know because, eventually I would like to travel abroad, and now I know to apple cider vinegar and raw garlic.
you gotta eat it
Thank you
raw,
very
and
much.
it's spicy. And this is, if you're not used to eating it like that, it's kind of spicy. You just gotta chew it up real quick and just swallow it.
Okay, are you
hmm
putting this on? All right. Shout out to everybody in Africa and motherland.
hmm
Kucha Chakalia. Now, Sister Shakira, we have a brief 60-second commercial break for all of the
Okay.
sponsors of the People's Podcast. Thank you for everyone for each like, share, subscription, super chat, as well as anonymous cash app. We're coming right back to our sister Shakira. She has a great spirit, and we have so many more questions for our sister. Thank you very much. Please let us know what city you all are watching from in the comments. This is great. Thanks to Shakira for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Yes, sir. Do I need to be quiet right here?
We are live with the People's Podcast. Street Premiere Media Production. He has a 4K camera and a drone. He does television and film editing. Please reach out if you need any of that. Sister Naima, Stay On Point Dance Academy. She teaches ballet virtually to young girls all across the country. Sister Miriam, ABC I Love Me children's book and coloring book. My father's book, A Soldier in the Movement of Christ. My two books, Cleopatra, which is a children's book, and No Father, No Excuse, both of which are available on Amazon. Magnificent. As well as S Enterprises Barber and Beauty Products. It's a plant-based brush wave product. They have beautiful waves, get your hair, edges, all of that. Shout out to the kosherwave.com with the K 770-997-6000. Brother Jeffrey Searcy Muhammad, Sister Stephanie Lasan Muhammad, and they too they're headed to go to Africa this month to do some trade and commerce. So shout out to them for being great representatives of business, foreign as well as domestic. All right, so Shakira, the next question that we have is I saw you at the event with your daughter. She stole the show. She was dancing and had such a great spirit. What advice would you give to future mothers?
Um, One thing that I've had to learn was to not let my triggers affect her, or my trauma affect her. Like, she's kind of complete opposite from me. She's a lot more outgoing, as you saw. She loves, attention from people. She loves talking to people. And so I try not to let me, I'm a little bit more introverted. I can hang out, but my social battery, it dies a little bit faster than hers does. And so, I just let her be herself. I let her pick out her own outfits. I let her be confident in the way she wants to dress, or how she, approaches other people, how she handles certain conflicts. Whenever she's feeling her big emotions, because she's only 4, so their emotions are big, even if it's over something small. Um, don't get triggered by it. Like, if she's angry, like, your anger isn't gonna help the situation. Like, you gotta allow them to feel their feelings, because they're human too. And so, yeah, just not let my triggers and my trauma, affect her and who she is as her own person. So,
Great advice.
mhm.
Now, to Shakira, you spoke earlier of your father as well as your mother. Can you let us know their names so we can make sure we, show respect and salute them as well?
Oh yes, sir. My dad's name is Brother Ghazi Muhammad, as a lot of
Yes,
people know. And my mom is Sister Asiya.
beautiful. Praise be to Allah.
Mhm.
Salute to your parents,
Mhm.
as well as your siblings and your daughter. Your daughter, I saw her, but I didn't get to beat her. But shout out to your daughter as well.
She
Um,
probably would have said hi very enthusiastically.
yes, ma'am. You also told a lot of people wanted to know about the story with your grandmother. Could you let us know?
Mhm. Yeah, that kind of goes back to, me visiting Africa. Um, Before she passed, she came to, we're all from St. Louis originally. And so she came here, she had cancer. She had like breast cancer, bone cancer, lung cancer. She had a lot of different kinds of cancer. Um, she came to live with us. And she was under the care of Dr. Bettina. Shout out to her. We love her very much. I still have her number and everything. Um, and our the point was, to take care of her and I guess kind of get her back to health. I wasn't really sure how long she was planning on staying initially, but she stayed for a good little minute. And I remember my dad telling us like very excitedly, like, oh, I wrote a letter to the minister, and the minister would like, and Mother Khadijah would like to meet, your granny. And that would be her first time, actually seeing like the minister in person, as far as I can recall. And so my siblings and I, we weren't able to go. I remember we were all kind of pouting about that. But my mom and my dad, my grannies, they all went together. And she had on this blue garment. I've never seen her in a garment before. And I remember thinking, I'm like, oh, she looks so pretty in that garment. Um, but when she came back, she was kind of holding her cheek like this. And she's like, oh, he kissed me on the cheek. I'm never washing this cheek off again. She's like, "Oh, he was so handsome," and she was talking about Mother Khadijah, and she just loved the whole every second of it. And I was just I remember being so happy for her. I'm like, I'm glad you got to meet them. And so, fast forward, I can't really remember the time frame of how long she stayed with us, but when she went back to St. Louis, she went to her doctor. They were saying that her cancer was gone and they were
Mm,
shocked. And I'm like, well, there you go. That's the power of, voila, Dr. Patina, there you go. And so a couple years, I think I can't remember the exact year, but she later, passed away. And so, we went to her funeral and it was a beautiful funeral. All the family was there. Um and later, when I finally was able to go to Africa, my dad handed me her ashes. They had her cremated. And he was saying, I would love for you to be able to spread her ashes out in Africa. And
mm.
so this was the same day because we got to meet the queen. We didn't get to meet the king out there, but we got to meet the queen. She was very beautiful. That was an experience all in itself. I gave her my dad's book. Um, and she took it. I don't think she was allowed to, but she took it anyway. And then somewhere outside the palace, it was a nice little tree that I found, and I was like, okay, I would like to, spread her ashes around this tree. And the mentors that we went with, they made a nice little ceremony around it. They sang their chants, and I got to say my prayers over it, and it was a very, very intimate moment. I'm glad that I was able to experience that with them. Um, and yeah, it was a lot of tears because I miss my granny. Her name is Cherry Humphreys, by the way, Cherry Humphreys. And so, she's definitely very much missed. A lot of people in the community, they know Miss Cherry. She's well loved, well respected, a little bit feared, a little bit. And so, she's definitely deeply missed by a lot of people. So
All praises to so loud. Beautiful story, man. Shout out to your grandmother. That's excellent. Now, the Queen of Africa, like how to break it down, like the Queen of Ghana, I mean, the
yeah,
Queen of Ghana.
I think so, or whatever little part, maybe the city of the part that we were at. But we were trying to meet the king, but they were saying,
Okay.
we weren't able to. We were. It was just a no. And so, we got to meet the queen, and she was very soft spoken. Like you almost had to kind of get close to her a little bit, but we couldn't get too close because guards and all that. But we
So you
took
said because
pictures.
because you had garlic or because of
The
guards?
guards, the guard,
Okay,
the
okay, okay, okay,
garlic.
okay.
The guards, they wouldn't let us get too close to her. So she was just a very pleasant experience, very soft, very gentle, um, very beautiful. Her skin just clear and just shiny. And she was just definitely a beautiful person to get to know. So
Beautiful. All praises to
yeah.
Allah. Now, earlier you have a very wait. Will you ever go into the ministry?
Oh no.
No,
I
no, no ministry.
no. I tried that one time because my dad wanted me to, and I was like, oh, never again. It was not for me.
Okay.
I don't like public speaking like that. And so even this now, I know this is public, but I still have my nerves and all that stuff. But being out up on stage and trying to make my points, oh, it was awkward. But I did it. Can't say that I never did it. So
Beautiful. I wanted to ask you. Well, you seem like a minister, so and whatever you're
oh,
doing is a minister. You definitely seem like a minister.
okay, yes, sir.
Perhaps
I'll take that. Interpreting. Okay, interpreting. You
See
got it.
that? Boom.
You picked up that sign. Yes, sir.
You
I
see,
caught
you
it.
see, you see what it is.
Hmm.
Okay, so now I wanted to ask you. Previously, you spoke about insecurities. What advice would you give to people about overcoming insecurities?
Um, for me, I know I had to let go of what I thought other people were thinking. And it's just what I thought they were thinking. I didn't even ask them or even talk to them about it. Just
Mm,
oh, what if they're thinking this and what if they're thinking that? I like, look, this is me. This is what I come with. If you don't like it, it's a you problem at this point. So, and I still have my insecurities. I don't think that'll probably ever go away 100%. But at the same time, I'm still young. Have inshallah, I have a long way to go. So, just pray, get close to, with your relationship with God. And yeah, just be comfortable in your own skin with who you are. Everybody has flaws. Nobody's perfect.
great advice. Go ahead, Sister Minister. Yes, ma'am, teacher. All
Yes,
right. And
sir.
thank you to everyone who is sending positive energy and showing love to our guest, Shakira. We also spoke about farming
Mm,
and farmland, being outside. It's not my strong point, but you were saying,
hmm
let us know what do you see is the value of farming and outside, the outside life, outdoors living.
Ever since my dad, a lot of people know that my dad has his farm out in Georgia.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, ever since, going to visit him, it's kind of a inspiration, kind of a bit of a game changer, in the way that I viewed life. And so, just seeing the land and, realizing like all the stuff that you can do with it, like not even just about money, just about, about that lifestyle, a good days of hard work and, actually genuinely enjoying your family. Um, I think if we're gonna get out of, the white man's world, we have to learn how to do for self. And so, that really goes into farming. You got to learn how to grow your own food if you don't want to be eating the pesticides they got at Walmart.
Mm.
Or, you got to learn how to take care of your animals and pay attention to what they're eating, because you are what you eat. How to eat to live. So, I think it really you really gotta put that work in.
Okay, great. So now earlier you did another sign, milk. Now when you go to, wait, okay, I'm gonna
Hmm.
do it right. Boom, boom, boom. One of
Hmm.
my favorite movies is Meet the Parents, the sequel, Meet the Fockers. They were doing some sign language as well.
Oh, Me the Fockers. Is
Yes.
that what it's
Remember
called? Oh,
that?
that's a good movie. I
Yes.
think I watched it.
Okay, so Meet the Parents is great, but Meet the Fockers is great as well. But
Hmm.
when I saw the sign language, maybe you said milk, it made me think about milking cows. Is
Yeah,
that something
that's exactly what that is. Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? So you don't mind. Also, Impractical Jokers, one of my favorite TV shows. They made
I like
Sal
that
give
show.
okay, so they made Sal give birth as one of his punishments to a cow, like as the
Oh,
punishment.
he was birthing a cow.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And he was doing the whole thing, and that doesn't bother you. The outside milking cows, give all of that.
I don't think so. I
That's
think I
good.
think I could do that. Now, the only thing is with the animals, my daughter, she is allergic to furry animals. We learned that the hard way. She sat on a horse one day and broke out in hives, and her
Mm-hmm.
poor baby, her face got all swollen. We had to rush her to the hospital.
Um,
Um, So I'm thinking more of like gardening kind of. I'm trying to think of something that we
okay,
could do
okay,
to,
okay.
include her. So we've been working on our green thumb. We've been trying to grow navy beans. We just planted some tomato seeds. Oh, I don't know if this is the right time of the year for that, but we're trying. We're trying to figure it out. So, everything is a science project lately because I homeschool my daughter. So everything lately has been, science. And yeah, so we trying to figure that out. But I want her to be able to be included. Like if we end up doing, having that lifestyle in the future, which I would love to have land. Um, I still want her to be able to do something. She can't touch the animals, so.
Mm,
Mhm.
okay. Well, now speaking of the green thumb, um, and homeschooling, like as projects and stuff like that, what advice would you give to other people who desire to homeschool their children?
Um, I think if you think about your limits first, because I know homeschooling is not for everybody. I know everybody would like to, but I know homeschooling, if you don't have the patience to do it, like hire somebody else to do it, maybe more a secluded school setting if you don't want to take them to a public school, but know your limits first. It definitely requires a lot of patience. You can't really, if they don't understand the topic, you can't snap at them because they don't understand it. That's parenthood in general. But just kind of think about the kind of person that you want your child to be, things that you think are important for them to learn regarding life, life lessons and things like that. So yeah. And she's doing really good. She's only 4 years old. She's learning how to read. She has her sight words. She's doing addition and subtraction. She knows how to read, write, and spell her name. And yeah, and of course, like I said, she's learning sign language. So yeah, I feel like we're doing pretty good so far.
Shout out to the teaching. I mean, like that's beautiful. Excellent. One of the questions that we ask each guest is, what is your favorite album of all time?
Oh, my favorite album. That's a good question. I'm not really sure, but I do have a favorite band. They're called The
Okay.
Internet. And I have yet to hear a bad song from them, so I would probably say all of their albums. But yeah, I like a lot of neo soul, R&B. I like a
Okay.
little
Okay.
country. I like a little rock. I'm kind of a little all over the place, but
Okay.
that's probably my favorite band. So
The
yeah,
internet.
The Internet.
Okay, that's the first on the People's Podcast. So thank you for putting this on. Everybody write that down. The internet. Let's see. Let's see. And they're a neo soul band.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. Shout out to the internet. All right. And what's up? What's coming next for interpreter and things of this nature? What do you have next up on your to-do list and your goal list?
Well, I am in school right now. During the weekdays I get my schoolwork done. Right now I'm just getting a certificate so that way I'm able to work in Arizona. But, once I finish that and I'm actually able to work out in the field at the same time, the plan is to still go back to school to get the degree. And that's going to take about 4 years. But with that degree, I'll be able to work anywhere in America. And so I'm not entirely sure if I plan on staying in Arizona. We'll see where life takes us. But if I do end up moving, I'll still have a job anywhere I go. So yeah. And we can do that from home, hospitals, courtrooms. It's a lot of ways that you can, do that and still make money.
Go ahead, sister. So Shakira is teaching us. Yes, ma'am. Traveling and all of that good stuff. I
Hmm.
have one request before you go. Do you think that perhaps because we did the in person, I mean, we met at the Sanders thing, but perhaps one day when I'm in Arizona or you're in Atlanta and I'm doing an in-person interview or in-person speaking, could you help, like, be the translator to me,
Oh, yes, sir. I would be
like
honored
during the
to.
interview?
Yes, sir. That would
Okay,
be beautiful. Yes, sir.
okay, great. And now I have to go to an experience what it's like to go to a deaf church, or you said
There's a
deaf something
lot of
else
them.
too. It's a
We
deaf
went to a deaf festival. It was like
deaf festival. Okay,
yeah, which was fun.
okay, okay. And it was just quiet at the festival.
At the festival, no.
Okay,
They free reign as loud as they want to be. That was actually my first time. I actually saw somebody have an argument in sign language, and she was
okay.
very aggressive with her signs, slamming her hands across the room with somebody. At first, I didn't know who she was talking to, so I kind of had to look around. But the guy was a little bit far away from where she was talking,
Mm.
and I'm like, interesting. Like they're really, they're yelling at each other, yelling at each other in sign language, and so that was interesting. But it's a little fest. They call it a festival, but it was kind of like a little flea market situation. Like everybody had their little stands up, and they were selling different shirts and knickknacks and all that stuff. So definitely experience that I would highly recommend if you really want to get into that kind of community. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Excellent. Now I have a question. I've been to some of the flea markets in Atlanta and like Old
Mm.
National, things of this nature. Now, is this like sign language when they're like neck rolling and hands? Is that like sign language? Is
Yeah.
that just like is that kind of form of
What do
sign
you mean?
language, or like when you see
You
the
talking
women
about like
arguing?
body language?
Yes.
Oh Lord. I feel like if you are a person who talks with your hands naturally, it'd be easy for you to pick up sign language. And I know a lot of us sisters, we out here doing all that. So
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I feel like it'd be easy for us to pick up sign language if we really wanted to. But I know a lot of people they're how like you have different accents. There's also different accents in sign language too. And so it really just
Okay.
depends on, in different languages and sign language and all that. And so it really just depends on, I guess, where you're from and, how that's where, depending on where you're from, it's probably going to be the way you sign. So,
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
hmm
Learn something new every day.
Yes,
All
sir.
this to a and people are showing you love all around the world. Thank you to Brother Vincent. Um, Frequency is real. I'm sorry. Okay, Naeem. Okay, okay. All right. And then Naeem was stopping me from doing my impression of the neck rolling women at
Oh,
the
yes, ma'am. She right.
and Brother Umar, the successor, he's sending you love, saying Shax.
Oh, someone like Mother Umar. Oh, my Instagram name. He always called me that.
Yes, ma'am. So shout out to Shax and Umar. Listen, let's shoot the video for Fusion. I mean, what we doing? I mean, what are we saying? Let's hurry make this video happen. I want to thank you, Sis Shakira, for taking time out of your busy schedule. This has been an honor. It was great meeting you.
Yes,
And
sir.
now we are locked in and
I'm
interpreting
gonna
and all
teach
that.
you one more sign. This is the sign for I love you.
Oh, okay. Check you out. Look at
Usually
you.
people
Boom,
say
boom.
bye. I love you, something like that.
Okay.
So
Oh, so
I love
this.
you,
Oh, so this.
family.
Okay,
Hmm.
got it. All right. Look at you put me on.
Hmm.
Also, everybody, y'all see that as advanced as she is, I'm also more advanced in one area, and that is the alphabet. Can you give me credit? Can you say I'm advanced with the alphabet?
You good. You got it, brother. It's up. You'll get there. You got a little practicing to do,
I
but
mean, look, X, Y, Z, right? Like,
hmm
boom. That's
you
all I'm
got it.
saying.
You
That's
got
all
it.
I'm saying.
That's
This
more than most people know. So there you go, brother. Good job.
excellent. And people were saying, bear witnesses and go off, sisters, Shax and Shakira, beautiful,
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. I praise the Allah.
wonderful. This is Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum, man.
Walaikum salam.